Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Hello, cryptocurrency friends. We're going to look at our usual names here. So we had a temporary climax top where Bitcoin made the bull break straight into a dump. And just want to reiterate again that this doesn't happen in stocks. Yes, you will see breaks with a lack of follow through and things will turn around, but never, unless it's penny stocks, never to the tune of this degree. So I find trading easier in stocks. That doesn't mean that I don't trade cryptocurrency when the opportunity is there, but again, for the people that are learning technical analysis in the cryptocurrency environment, both back at the end of 2018 when things were extremely bearish and we saw all kinds of fake outs, and again, even right now, it's just a much harder environment to learn in my opinion. I've gotten messages from members who have switched to stocks and have found it much easier, and just want to let people know that there's another world out there where this doesn't really happen. But anyways, we had the bull break. The bulls took out the order book on the way up, which makes it really thin, and then the bots start their market selling and they drive the price right back down through all those levels, and that's our temporary top. So on the daily time frame, we changed the trend with our low, high of the bounce, higher low, higher high, and now we have the lack of follow through. The bulls are still holding on, but when I see a daily trend change that goes straight into a pretty solid pullback, I zoom out and look for a flag. And right now, when you look at the weekly time frame, you might be saying, well, that doesn't really look like a flag. We'll just play around with the time frames. This is the 4-day chart. That looks like a bear flag to me. So again, we want to prepare for all scenarios. Is it possible that Bitcoin just forms a daily higher low compared to 77.62 and then sees continuation up to 9,000 or beyond? Absolutely, that's a possible scenario. So we have to prepare for that, but we also have to prepare for the other side. What if we see a weekly bear flag and we break 7,700 and we drop down into the low $7,000 range? Do you have a game plan established for if that happens? Whenever I'm establishing a game plan, I always want to know, what am I going to do in the bull scenario of this setup and what am I going to do in the bear scenario of this setup? So for me personally, I'm back to all cash after selling all of my Ethereum from 183 to probably in the averages around 192. I scaled out 5 positions on the way up, and now I will patiently wait to see if this is a weekly bear flag. We know that we're just looking for weekly lower highs in most names. If it's a weekly bear flag and we drop to lower lows, I will look to re-enter, but I will have to see the oversold bounce line up in my favor, where I see the daily, the 4-hour, the hourly, RSIs all oversold. So I just know that I won't have any interest in entering positions until the low $7,000 range at the earliest. So that keeps me patient, and that keeps me watching to see how this move ends up playing out. 4-hour time frame, we lost the higher lows. We have not confirmed a 4-hour downtrend yet. If we bounce and form a 4-hour lower high and then a lower low from there, then we're in a 4-hour downtrend, and the weekly possible bear flag will become more likely at that point. ETH, so again, same thing, temporary top with the climax into the flush, and I stopped out. Actually, yesterday I meant to put a stop level for the last 20% of my position right there, and I made a mistake. And instead of putting a stop level, I sold at a market order in the 191s. In the end, that is a stop that saved me a few $100s, or I should say a mistake that saved me a few $100s. But at this point, we are just looking for a daily higher low to form on ETH compared to 167.50. Is ETH a potential weekly bear flag? In my opinion, a lot less likely. If we look at the 4-day time frame here, bulls have a lot more space to work with. The odds that we can hold our recent low, which is currently 16% away, and we look at Bitcoin, how much space do those bulls have to work with? Half of that, 7% or so. So if Bitcoin drops down below 7,700, obviously that's bearish on everybody, but Ethereum could set a weekly lower high and then try and hold the low of 152, whereas it's less likely for Bitcoin to be able to do so. So we'll be watching that as well. As long as the daily uptrend of higher lows is intact, the bounce on the weekly is still underway. So Bitcoin, technically, the bounce is still intact because we are still forming a higher low. We're just preparing for the possibility if we lose that daily higher low pattern. ETH BTC, the red flag was the bull break straight into the dump. You never want to see that reaction on a significant resistance level breaking to give it all back and then some. We then bounced around for a while, and now the bears are taking over in the short term. Again, we're just looking for a daily higher low. I'm watching for a higher low compared to 21, but That was a short-term red flag that definitely shifted the speed at which I was exiting my ETH swing trade position. So we will look for a daily higher low. When we lose the daily uptrend, our weekly top will be set, keeping in mind that this move on ETH BTC has come straight from the weekly low, and we have not changed the weekly trend yet. So when we lose the daily uptrend, we zoom out and we look for a weekly higher low to try and form on this pairing. LTC, same scenario. We're looking for a daily higher low compared to 53.03, but we're watching out for the potential of a bear flag. Here's the 4-day time frame. Looks like a textbook bear flag to me personally. The burden of proof is on the bulls to try and negate that potential bear flag. LTC BTC chart is also weak, trying to bounce right now off of support, but again, the weekly time frame not really doing anything, multiple inside bars and unable to see the bull move. Ethereum got all the way back up to its bounce high. Litecoin did not get close. Litecoin still standing out as weaker to me. Short-term 6558 as a support level that we just held, but again, sizable pullback the last couple of days. XRP, again, much more space to work with, not a weekly bear flag. Daily higher low, anything above 242 as that higher low. And I feel the most likely scenario on XRP, even if Bitcoin drops to a lower low there, would be to top out on the weekly, as we were looking for a weekly lower high compared to 327. And then we're going to look for a higher low on the weekly compared to 212 as the bulls look to try and tighten that range. And looking at it on the 4-day time frame, high, low, probably a lower high being set. And we're going to look for a higher low to try and set after that. Binance, anything on the daily above 1485 is a higher low. The most recent bull move decreased the odds of a bear flag, but it's still possible. This is the 4-day time frame again. Let's look at it on the weekly. It's a weak bounce. Anything under 2317 was just a weekly lower high. And we're looking for a daily higher low. When we lose the daily uptrend, our weekly lower high has been set. And again, we have not lost daily uptrends yet. We're just pulling back, looking for daily higher lows, but it's definitely a wake-up call. Prepare for both directions. Link USD is still holding on strong. Daily inside bar today, 4 hour is a tightening range where we are looking at our high, low, lower high, higher low, double top. A lot of tops at 280, but the bulls have 4 hour a little higher lows as long as 254 holds. So hold 254 and break 280, and we're looking back to the top of the move. Reject from 280 and break 254, and daily consolidation will then be underway, and we will have not found our daily higher low yet. If we get a bull break of that 280 level, our daily higher low is likely set at 241. That ended up being a really nice 15-minute oversold bounce from that bottom. 241 up to 280 very quickly. So some nice volatility on Link, and definitely holding up better than some of the other coins right now. ZRX USD is also holding up well. We do have multiple tops, 28 cents, rejecting 1, 2, 3, 4. We broke it, but no follow through. Support on the daily is 263, or support on the 4 hour. If we lose 4 hour exponential support, which is holding here, we zoom out and we anticipate a daily higher low will have to form, and we'll watch daily exponential supports. Keeping in mind that the weekly time frame has not changed the trend, just like Binance. It wasn't Binance, it was ETH, just like ETH BTC. We came right off the low. We need a clear weekly higher low and higher high to confirm a trend change, and that has not happened yet. We haven't topped out on the weekly until we lose the daily uptrend, and we're not close to losing the daily uptrend, as we know that the next time we consolidate, we're just looking for a daily higher low. So bottom line is daily consolidation is underway. We are still holding higher lows on most names. When we lose those higher lows, our weekly lower high is set, and we have to be prepared for what we're going to do if we do see another leg down in the sector. I appreciate you watching. Do good things out there, and we will see you over the weekend.